Good day. It's 2:59 going on 3 p.m. here on Monday, the first market open day. It's Keith here, and I want to go over with you. I made a movement on Moderna. Uh, Earlier, we were speaking about Moderna, and it was around the 146 to 147 range, and I was a little shocked that it went below 147. I said, this is a safe bet to get in. And quite frankly, I was tied up in some other stocks and just wanted to see some movement to see where this thing is going to go to get a better feel in my own heart for it. And despite the other things that this stock market is doing, there's a few things that we have to take into consideration whenever we make a movement on the stock market. For me, I wanted to see some movement, knowing some, basically, I wanted to see a reaffirmation that this stock was going to be headed forward, something to validate that. And this latest movement with actually very little news, there's, if you go into the news area here, you'll see, where is it? Final trades, Morgan Stanley, Moderna, Zoom, and more. So this is, I believe this one here, yeah, CNBC. So they're putting their favorite stocks out, and Moderna's made the cut, I suppose. We're going to go ahead and get out of that. And that helped send it forward. Well, that was about an hour ago. So what else do we have here? Stake Moderna. So yeah, I mean, here's another one. So in other words, the word is getting out. Moderna is a safe bet, especially at this price. It's only going to be going north from here. There's a few things that you really want to consider when it comes to Moderna. Let's get the price back up so you can see exactly where it's trading at. And so right now it's at 156.52, and I wouldn't wait for this thing to dip much. I think it's found its footing. That's my own feeling, of course. You make your own decision. If you feel the same, maybe now's a smart time for you too. But I'll tell you what, I got in on this stock because I really feel that now's the right time. And I took a position on a call position. So that's where I stand with it at this very moment. And I'm comfortable being there. I think that's going to pay off in the long run. Well, it's most obviously going to pay off in the long run. This stock is only going to be going north from this position, in my view. Again, it could drop down a bit. If it does, I don't see it dropping below the 147 level that we just came off of, because it's already pretty low for this stock. Remember, when all the craziness happened in the market last week, this stock was already kind of being a little bit finicky because the other stocks were having a reaction on it. And then it had its earnings, which was pretty much an expected call. There wasn't really many surprises on that, but there are a few takeaways. Moderna has $5 billion in cash on hand, which is a really good place for Moderna to be, for any company to be. That means they have plenty of room to invest in new ideas, which is really important for Moderna. Today, so it's at 156, coming up from 147. I believe within a year from now, this stock could easily be at 700, 800. So I don't really think these small increments matter much when you're looking into the future. But let me put it to you like this. Many of you who watch me, you know what I'm talking about. You're keeping up with what I'm saying. I've invested in this in options today, and it expires on Friday. And that's putting my money where my mouth is. I believe that this stock will grow from between today and Friday. Otherwise, I would have extended my options. And I do it like that because it gives me more, on the week, it gives me flexibility in the number of options that I can purchase and when I feel it's right to get out. Now, some people say, that's cutting it way too thin, way too short. However, that's worked for me. Most people on their options are going out 45 days, 30 to 45 days. This way here, their expiration isn't right on top of them. But to give you an example on if you were to do that, let's just go ahead and take, since we're talking about options, and that's kind of a big deal on this channel because I do options and I also talk to you about trading in just this stock. That's a relatively safe way to go. But let's just go ahead and look at options for a moment if you follow along with me. And on the right side here, you could see that it's actually talking about some of the things that Moderna is doing. I like to keep some information up there for you guys. This is always about Moderna. We talk about other stocks and other things, but always on how it reflects back to Moderna. And so we're looking at the stock here. If you were to go out, let's say right now at the $155, where is this at now? The strike price is $155. You're going to be paying about $500 for an option that expires this Friday. So let's say you wanted to take that out to next week. Now you're paying for the same option around $700. Let's say you wanted to take that out to March 19th. Now the same option about $935. It doesn't pay any more when the stock rises based on the strike price, but yet the option costs more. So why does it cost more? It costs more because you're giving yourself more expiration time. That's that intrinsic value that it automatically has. You're paying for the pleasure to hold 100 shares, and that's the cost to do that. So that'll always have cost, and you could trade on that cost, and it varies based on many factors, but it varies based on the volatility and based on how popular the stock is, how much action it's having. All right, so let's say if we go out to like 39 days here, now you're looking at paying almost $1,535 or so for the same position. And, so now what you could have bought, let's say one contract that gives you the right and the control at a strike price of $155 for 100 shares cost you $1,500 approximately if you were to give yourself 39 days. And that's good. It's not bad based on what you're trying to accomplish. Now, if you go back to this week, again, it's Monday, and you give yourself until Friday, not 39 days, but Friday, the same contract will cost you, and you got to times it by 100 because that's how many shares are in each one of these contracts. That's a normal that never changes. If you're ever looking at these, it's always the same. And so let's just look at the in the money portion, which is the highlighted portion on top. And then the stock price is the price right there in the center. And then below you can see these are out of the money. That's because this stock didn't reach that price yet, and these are based on calls, which I mostly do calls when it comes to Moderna. I really believe in this stock. I don't see it going down. I see it going up, and quite frankly, it's in my view, it's down already too much for what it's worth. So $540 it would cost you. You could buy 3 of these contracts, which would be, now you'd be controlling 300 shares, or 300 shares until Friday, rather than 100 shares until 39 days. So what's better? 100 shares until 39 days or 300 shares until Friday? Now, it all really depends on how this stock moves, right? If the stock is going to move up a bit and then you want to trade out of it to take a profit, it doesn't really matter if you have 39 days. And if it's a volatility stock like this one and it goes up pretty much and it comes down and back and forth, you might want that flexibility. You might want the movement and the leverage of 3 contracts rather than 2 or 1, whatever you can afford, or 20 or 100 contracts, whatever it is that you're working with. And this gives you an idea on how that works. So I just wanted to give you guys an update on what Moderna is doing. It actually had this pop up right here, and it's continuing up. If you look at the trend, you can open it up a bit, and you can see it actually going north starting here from 153.08. After it kind of popped up, it sort of stopped it right here at 153.08 and then came down a little bit, 152, and then ever since then it's been edging itself up, and now it's at 156.01, but it's on the downside. So let's say you're to get in right this moment, it should go up again, probably to like 156. Soon it's going to break 157 if this trend continues. That's my point. And now is a good time to get in if you believe in that trend. On the other hand, it could drop a bit. It's been running for a little while. I don't see it really dropping much. There wasn't really a lot of heavy news to drive this stock up as it is at this point, just like there really wasn't a lot of bad news to drive it down. Now, there are some things going on in the COVID world We have Johnson & Johnson that was just approved recently, but that shouldn't matter really much with this stock at this point in my view. Some people maybe think about it, so yes, it'll have some effect, but I don't think it'll be a whole lot, not really, because this stock has already gone through all that. It has the next year and 2 years paved out. It's working on other things. It's not cash strapped. It's got plenty of cash, and so really it's set up in a good way to basically take off at this point and do wonderful things. And I'm excited about this stock. So I'm in it, and I want to let you guys know. I think that that's pretty good transparency, and I'll always be transparent in that way. And I think you guys should get into it if you feel the same way. Of course, it's always at your own discretion. I don't think you should do anything based on what anyone tells you to do. It's your money. It's your consequences. It's your ability to either gain or lose. So you should really put some work into that. I believe in Moderna a lot, especially in the things that they're doing. So again, I think in a year from now, they could easily beat at, 700 and above. Now that's not exactly 10x, but I'm being conservative about it all. And remember, a lot of these other COVID stocks, they're going to start falling off by that point. And there's going to be a difference between the mRNA technology and the other COVID stocks that are not based on mRNA. And the mRNA tech stocks are really going to take off in my view. They have no reason not to. They have so many good things going for them. That's why I put on the right side here some really exciting stuff that you should take a look at. We got cancer vaccines and other things going on. So by Friday, where's this stock headed? Moderna. If it stays on this track, it might fall back here and there. I think overall, there's a chance we could see this hitting back to the 180 level. Remember, when it dropped off the 180 level, it only took a couple of days to find itself at the level it's at now. And many of us don't believe it belongs there, that there's other things in the stock market that's making that happen. And then, of course, it'll go up by in the same manner, I believe. And there's going to be a lot of, the more that, one of the things that I think will play a big role in this is what's happening with GameStop and what's happening with AMC. Every time you see these pump and dumps, they always have an effect on the stocks that are based on fundamentals. So keep that in mind. Where's this stock going to be in 2 weeks from now? Now we're talking beyond, it could still be in that 180 level. It could be up to 200. I'm really hoping to see this stock break 200 within the next month. And so that's what I have here for the 1 month range. And then, of course, what really makes a big impact on all of that is the broader market, everything else that's going on. So keep an eye on that stuff. Let that be your gauge, if you would, as to what you do. And again, looking at Moderna now, it's on the bottom part of the V, getting ready for its next move here. And if you look at, we'll just kind of make that a little bit bigger. If you look to the left, the last valley was lower than the valley to the right. And then it made that peak. It came down and kept going back up again. That's what I expect is going to happen here. And the peak on the last valley heading to its final peak is a little bit lower than the final peak on the left side. So those things mean a little bit. The bottom peaks mean a little bit. Take all that in consideration. Quite frankly, it looks like it's a little bit sideways right now with an upward trajectory. That's how I see this. A moment ago, I said I see it going past 156 in some time here soon. I believe that's about to happen here shortly. And then we'll see, maybe it'll touch 157 too. So good luck, everybody, in your investments. And this is Keith with Moderna Excels. Talk to you soon.